So Ubisoft just dropped a bombshell for Assassin's Creed Mirage 2nd anniversary, and it's exactly what the fans have been asking for. Mirage is getting a massive update focusing on something we've all wanted for years: real, free-flowing parkour. Now, before we get into it, I want to thank Ubisoft for providing access to the assets used in this video, but as always, all thoughts are my own. Listen here, ladies and gents, I gotta say, this update might actually bring Assassin's Creed's parkour back to its peak. Let's start with the biggest change: manual jumping. Finally! We've been asking for this forever, and now we can actually jump almost whenever and wherever we want. You don't have to climb specific walls just to grab the ledges you want. Nuh-uh. You can just move, jump, and grab anything by skipping the unnecessary wall runs. It completely changes how you approach rooftops, shortcuts, and movements overall. To put it simply, this is the kind of freedom the older Assassin's Creed games built their identity on. Something that's been absent from the series since 2017, and Mirage finally brings that feeling back. Next up, side and back ejects are fully manual too. While Ubisoft Bordeaux added a better side and back eject function to the game in the past, they still relied on nearby hanging points, and if there weren't any, Basim simply refused to perform the action. But that's the thing of the past now, since there are no safeguards and no invisible restrictions anymore. If you make a bad jump, that's totally on you. But that's the fun part. It gives parkour actual risk and precision again, instead of being overly automated. And then there's the one addition I actually didn't expect to see at all: a modern control scheme. Instead of holding X on a PlayStation controller or A on Xbox for parkour up, you can now use RT for running up and RT plus A for jumping, just like the classics before Origins. You can even remap the buttons however you want. It's wild that this is called the modern control scheme, when for longtime fans this was the classic one. But either way, I hope it's here to stay, because it's the second most exciting change to the game for me, as it gives me more control over Basim's movement. The best part, however, is that all these changes are optional. You can choose between a guided style, the way the systems were originally intended, or a free, fully manual parkour system. So whether you're a casual player or someone who's been climbing rooftops since Altair's days, you can play how you want. And all this comes as part of the Valley of Memory expansion, a free 6-hour-long story DLC with a brand new map featuring natural parkour environments, dropping November 18. The expansion takes us to the AlUla region, exploring more of Basim's past and even his relationship with his father. We'll see familiar faces like Dervish return, someone I personally criticized in the past for his lack of presence in the story despite the way the game set him up. And the expansion story happens right before the final events of the base game to make the ending make more sense, if you will. But what really impressed me is how much effort Ubisoft put into the world itself. The team researched the region heavily, including real historical sites like Hegra, and they've built a new area that feels impressive, to say the least. You got a mix of natural terrain, city, wild animals, ambushers, and rock formations that are actually designed for parkour. So don't expect flat ground with minimal parkour all the time. It's vertical and layered. Exactly what Mirage's base game offered, but on a different scale. And somehow that's still not everything. We're also getting a mission replay function, new tool upgrades, visual filters to make the game look like Origins or Odyssey, and I'm definitely choosing the Origins filter, more difficulty options, new activities, and gameplay changes, all free. I'm still baffled, to be honest. I mean, just think about it. You can basically tweak your game so much that it can possibly become the most challenging Assassin's Creed to date. Now let's talk about why these things matter. You see, Mirage came out back in 2023, and while it had some good updates over time, seeing this level of post-launch support 2 years later is actually rare, especially when Ubisoft already has a brand new Assassin's Creed game out, plus an expansion for that one too, which released a month ago. All of that is similar to when Odyssey received its final DLC after Valhalla was already out. Another rare instance of long-term support, but on a completely different scale. Most studios would have moved on, but Ubisoft went back to improve something as fundamental as parkour, something that changes how the entire game feels to play. That's really important because it shows that they're listening to the community, and it makes me way more confident about where Assassin's Creed is heading next. You know, I love the base game's Baghdad environment, but I always wish the parkour system had a little more depth, and now it finally does. Now I'm just hoping we can grab ledges mid-air again like the classics. So yeah, Mirage is getting a second wind, a fresh start that makes it worth revisiting all over again, and I'm almost positive that this game is where Assassin's Creed's parkour becomes great again. So what are you most excited about? The new story, the new map, gameplay additions, or the parkour overhaul? Personally, I can't wait to dive back in and just spend hours running, jumping, and climbing like it's 2007 again.